Greetings to all of you. It's a pleasure to be with you all again after several years of absence of my previous meeting because normally at this time I'm not here in Rome. I know the secretary have been working for 2 days already, and the young leaders have just arrived to start their meeting. I wish success at all three meetings: the secretary's meeting, your joint meeting, and the young leaders meeting. Special greetings and thanks to the member of the secretariat to who are present here. I want to focus my intervention on three issues, which to me are important to open the conversation. The first is to consider the work of the secretaries of social justice and ecology or the corresponding functions in the conferences of major superiors in the provinces and regions. The second is the urgent need to strengthen the social apostolate and make the difficult commitment to defending and deepening democracy at all levels, on all continents, and in the world system. And thirdly, I would like to discuss the need to consolidate the social dimension, the commitment of all the society's apostolates to the transformation of social injustice without risking the disappearance of works and centers of the social apostolate. First, on the role of social and ecological secretaries or delegates. The struggle for social justice, which includes integral ecology, is a constitutive part of our mission, since it is the demand of faith in Christ Jesus, a mission of reconciliation and justice. Is the expression of the General Declaration 36 found most adequate to describe its actuality, because justice is part of the reconciliation of people demanded by the reconciliation of themselves with God. As GC 32 already said 50 years ago. The secretaries of social justice and ecology, with the name given to them in each apostolic unit, are at the service of this mission in all apostolic works. And this is uh, important to be conscious that it's all, it's not only in a part of. They cannot be satisfied to be the secretaries for one sector or type of apostolic work, the so called social works, but they are called to assist the major superiors in the integral realization of the society's mission, a mission of reconciliation and justice oriented by the four apostolic preferences to which every apostolate contributes: educational, pastoral, spirituality, the formation of Jesuits and partners in mission, scientific, philosophical, and theological research, etc. This is what is expected of you and each social secretary of the Society of Jesus. While there is certainly a need for a strong group of apostolic works dedicated to social work, they make sense when they contribute to the social commitment of the works through which the various apostolates of the Society of Jesus are carried out. We cannot be content with attending only to the social sector. I try to avoid always the word sector. I don't like to describe our organization by sectors. I think it's a it's a wrong way to approach the uh, apostolates of the society. Changing the habit of working in sectors is notoriously tricky. However, to be faithful to the society's life mission, it is important to go beyond what has been achieved so far and conceive of the apostolic mission as an evangelizing continuum, a continuum in which some works, because of their especially specialty, and their resources participate in different ways in a single and unique process towards reconciliation and justice as a contribution to the historical incarnation of the kingdom of justice, peace, and love. This is our hope. The challenge is great to conceive ourselves as an integral apostolic body centered on the mission of reconciliation and justice and guided by the four universal apostolic preferences means acquiring that universal vision characteristic of the carisms received by Ignacio of Loyola and the first companions. Superiors at all levels, directors of apostolic works, secretaries of apostolic areas are called to this change of mentality. The role of the secretaries of social justice and ecology is fundamental in this task. If ecology and social justice is one of the most spread dimension in all our life and our works. Second, on the importance of advocacy and the political dimension of our operative charity. The four current GIAN initiatives are an apostolic instrumental that belongs to the whole Society of Jesus. In their aims, all Jesuit works should work together in universal causes, such as the right to education for all, integral ecology, justice in mining, and forced migration. In its four current initiatives, the Global Ignacian Advocacy Network has made efforts to remain in the field of lobbying and advocacy. It is true that within the field of advocacy, there are different ways of acting: research and documentation, analysis of reality, and communications or publications, mobilization and empowerment of communities, promotion of relations between the decision makers and the people involved in the processes, proposing alternative and public policies, participation in multilateral forums, or direct influence among governments, politicians, businessmen, etc. Advocacy is a vast field of action. However, the vastness of possible local, regional, national, or international actions cannot distract us from its urgency. Advocacy has not been, is not, and will not be easy. To achieve results in this field, it is necessary to work more closely together. And I'm referring again to the participation of all Jesuits' works. It's not a task for somebody. Collaborating with many other organizations and projects, ecclesial or not, that seek to create the social and political conditions of greater dignity for all, of justice and reconciliation between men and women and peoples. This mission is in your hands as social justice secretaries and as young leaders. Your tasks are complementary. The secretaries are part of the governing service of their provinces, regions, or conferences of major superiors. Their mission is to assist their leaders in animating and guiding apostolic service. The leaders of the GIAN, for their part, have the task of animating and coordinating the common projects that can be carried out between various apostolic institutions in a province, between provinces, regions, or between conferences of major superiors. These are not two independent or exclusive bodies, but two services in which the mission is central and the function is complementary. The process has begun for the GIAN to obtain legal recognition before the Italian state so that the initiative can become valid interlocutors before those international organizations in which the society's participation will be not only desirable, but a responsibility given that they are in the capacity and opportunity to do so to quote Father LaRupe again. An important occasion this year is the preparation, celebration, and follow up of the agreements resulting from COP30. Life on the planet depends to a large extent on what is achieved in the Conference of the Parties in November, this year in Brazil. The team of Social Justice and Ecology Secretariat, together with the GIAN for Integral Ecology, has been working intensively on the following: involve the body of the society, articulate our participation, prepare for the time before it is held, and participate in November in Belém de Pará. Congratulations on this organizational and participatory effort. But COP30 is only one station on this long journey towards reconciliation and justice for all. And on that journey, there are significant challenges, two of which I would like to highlight. Our responses in any of the GIANs and apostolic works must always include the poor and marginalized. Their voices must be heard, but integrated as protagonists, and they must be attended to us as an evangelical priority, good news to proclaim. Communication between the victims and their direct articulations can also be an element of raw and help for the GIANs, just as the presence and enthusiasm of the laity in the articulation of apostolic works are elements of raw and help. Where they are involved and interact with each other, networking flourishes and advances. If we remain networking only at the level of our institutions, management, or directorates, we get lost in the labyrinth of functions and representation. However, synergies and joint participation in projects are enhanced if we promote direct relations, dialogue, and share responsibilities with those we accompany. The poor, migrants, victims of violence, people in need of education, they save us when we listen to them, integrate them, and accompany them. D. In our apostolic response, we must go beyond houses, buildings, research, and teaching projects and join our efforts with many others to help create the social and political conditions in which what we preach and teach is politically possible. This is what GEC 34 invites us to do when in the complementary norms it affirms that in the fulfillment of the society's mission today, the social apostolate should occupy a preferential place, tending to ensure that the structure of human coexistence are permeate and become a fuller expression of justice and charity. There is a proper political dimension, the highest form of charity, according to recent popes, to the social apostolate that we cannot renounce. It requires an apostolic type of institutionalidad to help it take shape, an institutionalidad with aspiring antecedent, such as the Center of Research and Social Action (SJES), established by the Society of Jesus since the mid 20th century. It is a presence that we cannot renounce. Third, regarding the need to consolidate social commitment in all the apostolates while strengthening the social apostolic works and centers. The mission of reconciliation and justice is one and the same. It is not a question of working for reconciliation, peace, human relations on the one hand, and working for social justice on the other. The mission is one and the same for all the works of the society. Consolidating this awareness and this apostolic concern without weakening the social works themselves is one of the great challenges we face. More than 25 years ago, Father Kolbenbach drew attention to this challenge. He warned of the crisis of the social sector, even the risk of its disappearance or invisibility and irrelevance. He warned about the negative impact such a situation has on the life mission of the Society of Jesus. This warning is still valid today. Without a solid social apostolate, the mission of reconciliation and justice can remain just fine words. It's a challenge for the formation of young Jesuits. No, it's harder. Every day is harder to find young Jesuits that wants to, no, willingly to go to social works. In that memorable letter of 24th January 2000, after acknowledging some positive signs, Father Colbert said, this awareness of the social dimension of our mission does not always find concrete expression in a vibrant social apostolate. On the contrary, it shows some worrying weaknesses. There seem to be fewer and fewer Jesuits engaged in the social apostolates, and those that exist are often discouraged and scattered, perhaps lacking in collaboration and organization. Vision of society, which used to aspire and strategize for broad structural change, have given way to skepticism, or at best, to a mere preference for more modest projects and narrow approaches. The social apostolate is thus in danger of losing its vigor and momentum, its orientation and impact. These are very, very important words. No, I have talked to Father Colbert many times about this, and he was very, very aware of the growing of the social dimension that is, if we see back, if we go back to the 50s or the 60s of the last century, and we see now university schools, spiritual centers are more aware of the social dimension. And the social dimension is present in our exercises, in our teachers, in our schools. But the social apostolate is weakening, no, all this time. And the thesis of Father Kolmar that I agree with is without a strong social apostolate, the social dimension will disappear also. The Secretariat for Social Justice and Ecology has integrated into his program from 25 to 27 a survey at the Universal Society on the state of social apostolate, which aims to have better baseline information to establish the situation, the difficulties, the capacities, and the challenges we have for this mission. I encourage you to work diligently on it and to offer the best of your abilities together with the whole apostolic body of the society for the success of this diagnosis. It may lead to important decisions for the present and future of the social apostolate as an essential element for the apostolic commitment of the Society of Jesus. Reducing the social to a dimension unsupported by a solid apostolate with human, technical, and financial resources is unhealthy. To realize the mission of reconciliation and justice, following the inspiration of the universal apostolic preferences, creative ways are needed to strengthen the social commitment of the provinces and regions of the whole society by multiplying the works and projects of social apostolate. In this endeavor, I count on your collaboration and on the social secretaries of all the apostolic units. I want to make clear that apostolic works also needs thinking, needs research, especially in this moment of the world where solutions are not clearly. No? So it's not only to be doing something, but to be one step ahead of the history. That's our challenge on how to really orient it, or what kind of change we're talking about, or what means to be a society, a just society. What means to integrate migrants, for example? What means that? Well, we have no manuals of that. We don't even know what how to do it or what to do. So to do research on social dimensions, social sciences, political sciences, economy, all that is so important for the social postulate. With regard to this challenge, I would like to underline three elements that I consider essential, among others possible. First, the social apostolate needs to be involved and present in the formation programs of Jesuits and lay padres. Please do not wait for Jesuits and companions' information to come to you. Make attractive and challenging proposals. Entrust concrete responsibilities to Jesuits in various stages of formation and involve their apostolic creativity in the programs of your centers and social works. One learns to love the poor and to serve them evangelically in practice and cordial proximity to the real poor. As Father Colin again said in the same letter, the perseverance and development of the social apostolate cannot take place without the availability of qualified Jesuits and collaborators. Therefore, I would like to encourage Jesuits involved in the social apostolates and those responsible for formation to cooperate in organizing well thought out programs with the province and interprovincial. Second, always to do it from the perspective of an incarnate faith that integrates reconciliation and justice at the same demand: internal, spiritual, interpersonal, communal, ecclesial, social, with creation and with God. Justice is the highest expression of charity, generous love, concern, and active in favor of the poor, even to self oblation, because justice cannot be done without loss, as Father Arrupe reminds us. And third, articulation between different apostolic presences is necessary for developing the mission cycle and collaborating with people, time, and resources. In the virtual cycle of mission, according to the famous diagram that Pachi Alvarez helped us systemize, accompany, serve, reflect, raise awareness, advocacy. The task of transforming structures so that they are a future expression of justice and charity is presented as the culmination of a series of joint efforts that require an enormous capacity for collaboration. The works of the social apostolates are called to provide the special service of coordinating between different apostolic presences, weaving of holding together this cycle of mission. We must strategically invest time, people, and resources in this. While every step or form of service is important, reflection, awareness raising, and advocacy are key elements of the social apostolate that must not be overlooked. Thank you.